Hello everybody, it's Bourbon Bill, and tonight a very special episode. We're diving into one of my favorite distilleries and one of their newest releases. It's Sagamore Spirits Vino de Naranja cask finish or orange wine cask finished. Now, look, don't hate on me. This is a distillery exclusive as set up here in the label, so you gotta know a buddy who lives near Baltimore, Maryland, or can drive to that location yourself to pick one up. I can't wait for just a couple reasons why this is going to be phenomenal. All right, this is the neck pour. Okay, got it today. Big shout out to Mike Sutton for helping with this one. Thank you, sir. He happened to be passing on through the area. So, Sagamore, as we know, always kills their releases, right? And their distillery exclusives are some of the best stuff they put out. And I know it's not widely available, right? But they might do this cask in a wider release, so keep that in mind. So, it's obviously Vino de Naranja. Spanish. That's right, Spanish orange wine casks. A blend of straight rye whiskeys we see here. And we get all the important details right on the front. Like, why do other distilleries not do this? It just pisses me off. Sagamore is here being transparent. Why can't you? That's to all these other distilleries that don't do that. Aged 5 years in charred new oak barrels. Okay, so it's 5-year-old rye whiskey. Aged 3 years and 3 months. What? 3-year, 3-month finishing. So this is an 8-year, 3-month rye whiskey total aging time. Look out! Now that's what I'm talking about. And then the important feature on the back, distilled in Indiana. So this is MGP. So Sagamore is doing some of their own distillate now. And the way to tell, because they don't try to fool you, look on the back. Some of them say distilled in Indiana, which is MGP. Some will say distilled in Maryland and Indiana, which is obviously a blend of both. And a couple will say distilled in Maryland, which is obviously their own then. Their own stuff's good, so don't be turned off by that. But if you're an MGP fan in terms of flavor, their MGP is a mix of 95.5 and a custom 51% rye that they have made for them at MGP. But they are switching to their own distillate. This is still MGP though, so whew, that age statement. Proof 101, compute 50.5% alcohol by volume. And you might say, well, Bourbon Bill, orange wine finished rye, you know, what are the flavor notes you think you're going to get? They give them to you right here on the front. Notes of orange creamsicle. Who would have thought orange wine with orange creamsicle? Apricot, marmalade, cinnamon spice, and cacao. Or cocoa, as I like to say. Now, I am doing a blind tonight because this does say batch 1A, bottle 304. They obviously have done more than one barrel to have more than 200 some bottles. So there's probably a couple barrels of these if you're still interested in getting one. Because this isn't the only time that Sagamore has done a Vino de Naranja. There it is. Sagamore Reserve Series Vino de Naranja. And this was a pick from the Mash and Journey for their Summer Jam last year. Signed by Jason and Hawk himself. Now, this also says batch 1A. This was a 5-year MGP finish for 2 years and 9 months in Vino de Naranja. So you might say, okay, same age of rye whiskey initially, longer finish on the distillery exclusive. Is there any other differences? There is. This one is 112.6 proof. Compute 56.3% alcohol by volume. So 101 to 112.6. This is 11.6 proof points higher. Closer to their cask strength. This is cask strength. This is basically cask strength, slightly watered down. But a 6-month longer finishing. So that's the difference here tonight. Because Jason put this cool Summer Jam sticker on the back, it does cover up the tasting notes and whatever that's on the back of this one. But online, they're very similar, but not the same, interestingly enough. So I had Rita pour these up blind tonight, and we're going to go through them, give our which one I like better in our tasting notes, and then you'll know on the screen which one's which. But we got the clear glass here, and then we got the clear glass with a little piece of paper stuck to it. And the reason I did that was because I wanted you to see the color on these bad boys. Identical. I don't know if you can see that. Identical in terms of color, which is crazy to me because one's cast strength and one's not. And what that tells me is that the extra 6-month finishing has darkened the 101 to be the same color. So look the hell out. Alright, here's the first one. You'll know what it is on the screen through the magic of editing. Pricing these bad boys. Well, this one came with our ticket to the Summer Jam Fest last year, but I think they were $75 hairs somewhere in there for this one. This distillery exclusive is $79 even, so $79 hairs even at the distillery, plus the horrible 9% Maryland sales tax. I mean, Maryland, you suck with that 9%. Gosh, but oh well. Anyway. If you don't like Vino, if you've had like Starlight Vino de Naranja and that tasted like crap, because it does, don't be turned off by these. Rye finishes better. Okay, it does. Alright, without further ado, let's get into it. I mean, look how damn dark this is. Oh my God, it's like orange maple syrup. Oh, I mean, oh, good Lord. A++ on the nose of this bad boy. What is this? I do get, no lie, like an orange creamsicle. Like just one of those delicious orange creamsicle pops with that full of that vanilla, you know, cream in the center of that orange sickle. Oh, I get like honey. Man, it's so desserty. Definitely getting orange, definitely getting some vanilla notes, like I said. I guess if I think about cinnamon, I get cinnamon on there. Definitely getting some maple, though, on this, which they don't mention on that, but whatever. Let's take a sip. Oh, holy shit. Oh, I've died and gone to heaven. Oh, my God. What a fantastic palate. I mean, a long finish. Everything we smell on the nose comes through in the palate. This is phenomenal. It's all orange creamsicle, a little bit of cinnamon. I get a little bit of cherry, a little bit of maple thing going on for me on this. A nice like rye spice on the back throughout. Man, A++ rating for Bourbon Bill, absolute buy. That first one was fantastic. All right, now to the second one, which, I mean, well, I've reviewed one of these before, right? This one. I'll go link it above. How does this one compare? Let's give it a nosing. There's the one with the little white label on it. Oh, it's a sharper orange zest note. I get some honey in there, but not as much maple and not as much creamsicle. Even the cinnamon's dialed back a little bit. Oh yeah, I think I prefer the nose on the first one, to be honest. I really do. This has more rye spice coming through in the nose. So the first one's more desserty. This one's a little bit drier, a little bit less sweet. But like I said, it's missing the creamsicle note, and it's missing as much honey. There's some there. Let's take a sip. Oh man, is that one good. It's a more rich, vivid orange. Drops the creamsicle note altogether. Not much cinnamon at all on the palate. There's honey there, but it's just like a darker honey, a little bit less sweet. But you know what's funny? I can't tell what's what by the proof. My proofometer's broken. They both felt really good and thick in the mouthfeel. They both felt like a long finish. Oh, I'm torn here. I really am torn. All right. Back to the first one. There's just so much more. Now there's like just much more of that orange creamsicle note is to die for. I'm going to give... Yeah, I'm sorry. The nose goes to the first one, whatever one that is. And I can't tell yet. I would almost say maybe the higher proof one because generally you get, you know, more scents and flavors off the higher proof, but I don't know. Down the hatch with the first one here. Holy smokes. Just the velvety, like syrup feeling on the palate. Wow. Wow. That might be my winner. Okay, back to the second one with the tab. Ooh. Okay. Now that I've gone back and forth, I think I know what's what. The second one with the paper felt proofier on that second sip. So I think that's the Mash and Journey Reserve Select Pick at 112. I think the first one is a new distillery exclusive. The distillery exclusive wins it for me tonight. And I'm a proof hound, whatever you want to call it. That extra 6 months in aging added something special to the nose and the palate. I mean, they both have the orange, okay? But that extra aging brought a lot more like vanilla, creamsicle, honey, sweetness, and the palate is just wow. Okay, and it's a fairly, there's rye spice there, but it's a fairly smooth, velvety experience that's very nice on the palate. The Mash and Journey pick, wow, excellent. And actually, it's my brother-in-law's favorite Sagamore of all time, actually. It's one of mine, too. Is superb, but it doesn't quite have that creamsicle note and loses, it doesn't have the maple either. The maple is so prominent on the other one. They don't even list that, but to me it's maple. It's not on this one. Yeah, there's higher proof there, which is nice on the finish, but it's not as a velvety experience, if you will, as this distillery exclusive. So fresh crack on this bad boy, and it took down one of my favorites. Absolutely pick this up. I mean, you just can't go wrong. Now, that's not all. You might want to know how Bourbon has it compared to the other ones you got. Get the minis out for this. The port finish, my favorite, one of my favorites every year from them. This one's 103 proof, compute, 51.5% alcohol by volume. Comes out around every Christmas. Well, I guess before Christmas. Comes out before Christmas, but it's a wintertime release, if you will. This one it's a 6-year-old, finished for 3 years in a Bordy Vineyard port barrel. So far, to me, this has kind of reigned supreme as one of the best finished releases they've done. If I think back to distillery exclusives, though, the Albarino cask would be my favorite of all time, I think, as far as their finished options go. Here's the port. A little bit red in color, which we'd expect. I mean, just that delicious, like, cherry, red berry, strawberry, cranberry note. Wow, on the port. Man, gosh, I love the port. Here's what I'm going to say. The port is phenomenal. It also delivers that velvety, thick, and like, I'll say it's smoother thing across the palate. That's what we're getting out of this distillery exclusive here, but it's a different flavor profile, right? Do you want the orange maple notes and creamsicle notes, or do you want those red berry, fruit, port notes? Your choice. Dealer's choice. That's how good this new distillery exclusive is. It's almost in line with that port. Almost. Alright, how about one you might be able to get, the Manhattan finish, nationwide release. So if you're somewhere where Sagamore is sold, except Pennsylvania, because I don't know, we get like 2 things from them, even though we're a neighboring state. Whatever. Also 103 proof, compute 51.5% alcohol by volume. This is a delicious 4-year-old MGP rye, finished for an additional 20 months, so almost 2 years, in vermouth bitters and cherry brandy barrels. And we'll put that also in the mini. Color here, Not quite as dark, you know, as the other ones that we went on to tonight. Not quite as dark. Give it a nosing. Wow. I mean, they're like Cherry Luden's cough drop of deliciousness. Man, I love them things, you know? This is all cherry and like a splash of vermouth. So, oh man. All right, let's take a sip. I've already reviewed that one, but man, that's fantastic. Again, though, it's cherry with a hint of the vermouth and then the rye spice. So it's like pick your poison. Okay, do you want an orange dreamsicle? Do you want a strawberry, you know, port dessert? Or do you want like a cherry vermouth flavor? I mean, that's the difference, okay? And they're all good. Now, if I was forced to rank those, I would go port, Vino de Naranja Distillery exclusive. The Manhattan and the other Vino here are neck and neck. I'd be tough to rank them, but that's how I'd rank those in order of 1, 2, and like 3A and 3B, if you will. Then sadly, one you're just probably not going to have is the Sagamore Spirits Maple Cask Finish. Maple Syrup Cask Finish, sorry. This was a 2-barrel release for Benny's in Chicago and Julio's or Julio's in Massachusetts. There's been some discrepancy on that name pronunciation. But I just did see on the TTB that they are releasing another maple syrup cask finish for a different store. And I don't know, it's called like Clark's. Never heard of it. If you're a viewer of mine and you've heard of Clark's, let me know because my bottle's getting low. So I like a replacement. Again, though, this is just a store pick, so it's going to be just as limited as this beauty was. My guess is 2 barrels. Again, or maybe even less. But for those who didn't remember, this is a 5 to 6 year old MGP, finished for 2 years in a whiskey turned maple syrup barrel. By the way, this one was 107.2 proof. Compute, 53.6% alcohol by volume. How does the old maple compare? Probably the lightest in color, but not by much. Let's not, I mean, these aren't light. These are all good dark looking ryes. All right, the maple. Smells like maple and rye whiskey. Quite good. Thank you again, Tim Puma, for the assist on this one. Chef's kiss of breakfast syrup pancakes. Quite good. Tastes more mapley than our orange one over here. Back to our Vino de Naranja Distillery exclusive. Now this smells like straight pancake syrup with like a little bit of orange juice sprinkled in. I don't know about you, but I did this as a kid. I would make waffles, right? Load it with butter. Load it with butter, okay? I would put, you know, my old Aunt Jemima's on there, pour it over the top, make sure every square of the waffle is full of syrup. And I would then put a splash of orange juice on top. I don't know why, maybe that's weird, maybe you didn't do that, but I did that, and that's what this distillery exclusive reminds me of. It's like orange maple syrup with a creamsicle too. Wow. Yeah, I honestly, one of the best distillery exclusives they've ever done is this Vino de Naranja. Not gonna lie. Go pick one up for sure. If you like what you saw tonight, please like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Have a good evening, everybody.